Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Hearts of Iron 4, where we are playing vanilla. This is a beginner's game, where we can talk rather more slowly and at a more casual pace about exactly what is going on, why we are taking certain actions, and if any of you guys in the stream have questions, or indeed if you're watching this on YouTube and you have any queries about what I am doing and why, please do just drop a message in the comments or in chat, and I will be happy to answer. This is definitely a resource to help people learn the game and all the different things that you can do in the game. So, we are currently preparing for an assault against Yugoslavia. We've brought in our tank divisions, which are more motorized right now. We have a couple of infantry ready to support the offensive, and we are just getting into positions right now. One thing I did want to double check is just to see what the template for my infantry was. Okay, that's actually fairly decent. We just need a little bit more experience so that we can get the what they called field hospitals, which will require a bunch more support equipment and a bunch more motorized. So the fact that we are a little bit short on those right now sucks a little. But I think that we are going to be good to go very soon. You know what? This is going to be an offensive attack, so let's put you under the offensive field marshal. Just right-clicking on his portrait, and now he's in part of the Blue Army. Okay. I think we're good. Let's do this. Roman Empire? No, this is just letting people learn the game and talking through things a little bit more slowly. I don't really have any grand ideas for goals or anything like that. The one that I want to do is the War for the Mediterranean against the British and the French. So we're going to be taking a fairly heavy naval stance, and also just fighting in Africa. We're going to be doing a lot of warfare in Africa, because that is my chosen theatre. So we are defending down here in Ethiopia, which is not something I would ordinarily do, and we're also preparing offensives against Egypt. The armies here don't look that strong right now, but that's just because I've moved the tank divisions away so that they could help me against Yugoslavia. Only problem you have is with the Navy. Well, I would encourage you to go and check out my naval tutorial, which you can find at this link here, where I go in quite a lot more detail about how the navies work, how the different orders work together, different ship types, how the ships work, etc. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so how long until the claims in Yugoslavia are done? We've got another 52 days. Cool. And then after this we can decide about Albania and then Bulgaria. Romania, and then Pact of Steel. Get into the alliance with Germany. Do you have any promotions? No, not really. Let's just do a quick look over the different generals to see if there's any traits or anything like that I want to be taking. When do you get Trickster? Not anytime soon, and in fact we do need to research recon divisions, companies, because we don't have any recon in those armies either. Not yet. Hey, Faceless. Oh, aircraft. We need to set up our airforce to be in support. So let's get you and you. Let's just select all of you, just to put you all onto air superiority. Select all of you. Actually, no. Those are tactical bombers. What are oh, those are also tactical bombers. Interesting. That's close air support, which needs to be in support of the Reds. Then I think I'm going to use the old tactical bombers to support the purples. And then the fighters. Wow, we are really going to need some more fighters before this really goes any further. Those aren't fighters, those are naval bombers. Never mind. These are the fighters. You two attach to the purples. And then you three attach to the reds. That should do for now. Okay. And we'll be in good positions. Marvellous. Hey, Star. Am I excited for the next DLC? Yes, very much so. I think that Paradox... Huzzah! Learned an awful lot doing Man the Guns. I think Man the Guns is one of the strongest DLCs that they've done, and I'm very much hoping that they are on a similar footing for this. Also, we have a port here that we could be using. Let's go and get maybe 5 of you based here. And then you can try and attack up north. Something like so. You should be able to get into position pretty quickly. Okay. Good. But the main attack is going to be through this. This is mostly just to pull troops away from their front line. The tanks are going to move down here to try and unify this front against them. And then we shall push into Zagreb, and then hopefully onto Sarajevo and Belgrade. Although crossing these rivers is going to be a little bit difficult. But up here we'll be in flatlands, we'll be in hills, which I can deal with. Going through the mountains would definitely be a lot more difficult, so we definitely want this northern push to be the main thrust. Man the Guns didn't add the most needed feature, don't get in the boat box. Yeah, it did. If you want to stop people sailing through various provinces, you click on the province and you click this button over here. So if it's yellow hashed, then transports won't go through this land. If it's red hash, nothing will. So yeah, you can tell people not to go into boats, and if you want to stop transports at all, you just do something like this. Actually, it would be all red. And then that way, nobody would sail out of Italy. If it's yellow, and if there's no other safe path, then they will go through the yellow zones. If it's red, they never will. One of the nicest features they've added. Because that's transports in terms of troop transports and also convoys as in trade convoys. So if you realise, say, playing as Britain, that you keep getting convoys lost in the English Channel, you just make the English Channel do not enter here. And you choose other routes. And you can also choose like corridors along the Atlantic. So you could block out all of these ones up here, you could block out all these ones down here, then have your destroyers patrolling the central line, which is your shipping lane. Or the northern lane if you're really struggling. And since this patch, destroyers travelling a longer distance are also more difficult to intercept, so they won't just cluster together and hit the entire convoy, they will hit only the convoys actually in that region. But I have yet to see how that works, because that's the newest patch and I haven't actually played with it yet. That's what this is. One of the reasons I'm investing so heavily in getting my destroyers upgraded at the moment, to get them ready for anti-submarine warfare. How are we doing? Ah! There it is. Claims in Yugoslavia. Finished. So, next. I think... let's go after Bulgaria. Or we could go after Albania and open up another front against Serbia. Actually, no. Let's do light ship effort, because this gives us some more anti-submarine warfare convoy stuff. The convoys, our overseas territories, need protection. We need to develop new doctrines as well as more modern destroyers. And that we definitely do. Alright, Yugoslavia. Are you guaranteed? No. So let's go and claim Dalmatia. Really? 110 days? Interesting. I don't really see the point of claiming multiple provinces. If it, like, let you core territories that you're sieging, then that would be awesome. But as it stands, there isn't, and there's no actual real difference for claims. I'm just going to go ahead and start justifying that. And then we can prepare for a war against Yugoslavia. Did Albania finish their industrial focuses? I doubt it. We're not that far into the game. I can't actually tell, but like I said, I don't think so. Especially as they've been doing their naval upgrades. Yugoslavian fighter competition. The Yugoslavian Air Force is currently holding trials for a new heavy fighter. According to our air attaché, our newest model is poised to win. A formal request from the Yugoslavian government is expected shortly. Representatives of the manufacturer are strongly in favour of the sale, but there are national security concerns about selling our most modern equipment to a foreign country. Should we permit the sale to go through? So they can license 1936 heavy fighters. I'm going to say no, considering I'm about to go to war with them. Ah, new fighters ready. New soldiers even. Let's go ahead and do that. 9 of you at once. Cool. And then I think I want to train just more colonials. Actually, I'm wondering if I want to remove 1 infantry, so we have the combat with 10. I think I am. This is going to give us a bunch of manpower and equipment back again. But it is going to make our units way more efficient. In which case, let's go ahead and train just another 24 divisions, just straight up. Improved infantry equipment 1. Excellent. It is still June 38. Did we finish computing yet? No, not yet. Well, let's do support weapons 2 for more attack and breakthrough. Sorry, more defense and breakthrough even. If we're about to attack them, why would we sell them weapons? Yeah, exactly. It's just good business. That is also true for 06. That is also very, very true. I like how my stability is just going steadily upwards and I have no idea why. War support? No. Party popularity? Maybe. I did not realise that party popularity was related to stability. Interesting. Okay, radio is done. That's going to be especially good with our combat with 10s. We could start getting radar. We're going to need the 1938 radar to start putting radar on our ships. Or we could get better oil processing. Or we could start working on air doctrines. That might be a better idea. So I think we're going to go operational integrity. Seeing as we are actually using tactical bombers. This gives extra agility to heavy fighters. This gives agility to close air support and also bonus air superiority. And this gives to fighters and strategic bombers. We're definitely not doing strategic bombers. I'm going to go operational integrity, and we are going to spend air experience to get the doctrine going more quickly. Convoy escorts just finished. That's a naval doctrine. So let's start working on some of the warfleet upgrades. We're about to get the land doctrine as well. Nice. So now we need to decide between dispersed support and integrated support. So what does this mean? Well, dispersed support is line infantry upgrades. So the line artillery upgrades. These are the ones that you have in the division proper. So these are line artillery, whereas these are support artillery. So the dispersed support improves artillery in the lines, and I think it's if you have more than 3 units of artillery in a division, then dispersed support is better, whereas integrated, the more artillery, rocket artillery, AT, AA that you have in a division, the better. I tend to prefer my support companies to be actual support companies as opposed to more damage. I prefer the damage to come from the line of battle, so we're going to go dispersed, but that can honestly go either way. It really depends on how you're building your units. Thought you were going to try and make the Kingdom of America under Wallace Simpson next. That's still on the list. I mean, this is just vanilla because I wanted to see the new vanilla patch. And also, lots of people are asking me for not exactly a tutorial on starting the game, but just like something they can watch to learn the game, which is the intention of this series. Glomar, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. An integral of X, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime subscription. Very much appreciate that. Welcome to the Mordlings. Yugoslavian air purchase no longer happens, and we have hit 150 political power. So Chief of Army, we could get Calavero, which is division speed, which is always useful, especially as I am using more tanks. Or we could go for cavalry, which is motorized cavalry and mechanized attack and defense. Infantry attack and defense, recovery rate. Tactical bombing would be very good. Don't think we need more manpower yet. Or we could just go for a war industrialist so we build our military factories and dockyards faster. I think that's probably the better option. Or the industrial concern. The earlier we get this, the faster we get industrial technologies. And 1939 is going to be the next level of these. You know what, we're going to do that. Tech first. Benito Mussolini questions Yugoslavian sovereignty. Who determines the borders of a nation and how they are determined? Whatever way people may have found in the past to justify where Italy ends and Yugoslavia begins, we live in a new era. The strategic importance of this border cannot be overstated, and we are well within our rights to shift it to ensure the continued security of our people. Listening to Benito Mussolini's recent speeches on invasion of Yugoslavia appears imminent. Dissenting voices have objected, but public support for war is on the rise. Do I think that Kaiserreich is better than base game? Yes, much. Can do that in vanilla. That's true, that is a vanilla thing, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I keep thinking that's a Kaiserreich thing, it's not. Wallace Simpson's vanilla. These guys get trained so much quicker than I expect. Which is good. Need another 5 experience, and then we can add... Is it 5 or is it 10? 5. Because I really want field hospitals for my units. We could desperately do with more aircraft. So I think we're going to switch you to just 5 factories and 5 factories. We're just going to switch more factories to aircraft production. And I'm also going to start producing a couple of naval bombers. Low priority, but I do want them. And we can also stop importing quite so much steel and chromium, seeing as we are just doing upgrades right now. We will need to import those again later, but right now we don't. When is the justification finished? Expected to finish the 8th of September 1938. So justifications are required to declare war on a country. Sometimes you can have focuses, which are just outright declarations. Like I think Germany declaring on Poland, kind of, Danziger War, which is an event which can either result in a war or not. Or you get claims like we did against Yugoslavia, and then you can justify claims, or make a justification of war for getting those claims, and then you can declare war on them that way. This is single player, yes. How's the training coming along? Slowly but surely. Then once these guys are done, we can add them to the purples as well, and then we should have a really good attack. Alright, light ships are finished. We could do the escort fleet, which I do like the idea of as well. We should make further efforts to protect our vulnerable convoys in the Mediterranean. Yes, we should, because we are going to be fighting against the French and the British submarine fleets. And they have the potential to ruin our day. We are definitely going for encryption, so encryption and decryption are very important technologies that you should never overlook. In particular, decryption. This is a very high priority tech. The reason for that is if your decryption is better than their encryption, you can see the units they have on your borders and just like generally around you with far more accuracy. So because our decryption is better than their encryption, or rather they're equal right now, because we're only just getting that technology, we can see exactly what they have. Whereas if they had more encryption, these would just be question marks and we could not see that attacking here in Ljubljana is okay, but attacking up here would be really difficult seeing as there's 5 infantry up there. Then also when you're actually fighting a battle, every point of encryption or decryption that you have over your opponent provides a combat bonus as well. So it's not just a visibility thing, it's also a combat thing. Furthermore, the more decryption you have, the better you are at finding ships at sea. So when you're using recon fleets and you're trying to find enemy ships to sink either convoys, submarines or surface fleets, the more decryption you have the better, and your own fleets are protected from detection if you have high encryption. But decryption is just one of those things that just affects so many different things. Surprised the UK hasn't guaranteed them yet. I'm a little bit surprised, although it's still early. Like, the UK I don't think has even guaranteed Poland yet. Nope. Free. Wow! Okay. All of the upgrades are done already. Interesting. In that case, I would... No, they're not done yet. Because my strike fleet has a bunch of destroyers, which also need to be upgraded. Like so. And that's going to use up all of those extra dockyards. And that's going to make us a lot more effective at detecting submarines. So the early, like, tier 1, tier 2s, we should detect pretty quickly. Seeing as we're using tier 2 sonar already. When did that war again? Totally forgotten. 8th of September. Oh, and we finished all of our production. Excellent. Right, well, history is going to need more infrastructure for sure. I'm also tempted to build a couple more fuel silos. Let's build another fuel silo there, and then get some synthetic refineries in Emilia-Romagna. Something like that, because we are gonna need to be fuel independent. Early in the war, we can rely on fuel imports from America, but post 1940, 41, 42, no, we can't.
Pronto, signore.
Okay, you guys are ready, so I'm going to say the majority of you,
Formazione. Pronto, signore.
minus you three, are going to be assigned to that line, and then these three are going to be assigned to that line. Off you go.
Ordini.
You lot may as well control B to get you to strategic move, because you get there a lot quicker. We're not actually at war with them yet, so you will have time to recover organization. And now you're at a full strength as well, so that's another unit going to be getting skilled staffer. Like, we have a lot of divisions in the field right now. 80. How's Germany doing? Germany's got about 100. But still, we're Italy. Like, that's an impressive army for Italy. UK doesn't start guaranteeing at this point to represent overall appeasement policy from the real world history. Yeah, because Germany hasn't gone after Czechoslovakia or anything yet, no guarantees have started flying. And then, actually, here's another thing which encryption-decryption does. We cannot see what Germany is currently focusing on, because their encryption is better than our decryption. Deploy all of you. Were you all actually? No, you weren't. Whoops. Start you training. Then what that's eventually going to mean is Yellow's armies can fight in the north in Libya, and then these guys will be fighting in the south in Ethiopia. A number of communist delegates from around the world met in Paris today for a founding conference laying the groundwork for what has been known as the Fourth Internationale. Calls for its formation have existed for years, with supporters of Trotsky's theories taking the lead. Stalin has responded to the growing support of Trotskyism abroad by ordering additional assassinations and increasing propaganda against his old rival. With the past purges of suspected Trotskyists in the high ranks of the Soviet military and leadership in recent memory, this is unlikely to be met with any resistance. Historic AI is on, yes. Mussolini speaks against Yugoslavia again. Does Yugoslavia belong to the Yugoslavian? Let us ask ourselves a better question. Does the future belong to the Yugoslavian? While we strive for greatness and power, they have displayed nothing but hopelessly backwards attitudes, having no history to pride themselves on. They are directionless. Why should they occupy land that can be used to the great Italian people? Wow, I cannot read today. Benito Mussolini's speech today, met with cheers and applause from supporters, suggests that Italy is on the path to war. If peace is truly only a pause in mankind's natural state of war, as Partito Nazionale Fascista states, then this is surely to be expected. Have I ever done a fascist Italy that didn't join the Axis? I think this is my second ever Italy game, so no. France and Britain announce alliance, calling on the bonds forged during the Great War. France has requested a formal alliance with Britain, citing unspecified threats against the stability of Europe. Today, the request was approved by the British Parliament, and France has joined the Allies. German demands for the Sudeten territory of Czechoslovakia, which is home to a considerable German minority, have intensified. At a summit held in Munich, Germany, Britain, France and Italy sought to find a diplomatic solution to the so-called Sudeten crisis. Czechoslovakia was not invited to attend. An agreement was reached in which Germany annexes the Sudetenland, but will not pursue any further territorial gains in Europe. Mr. Chamberlain spoke to crowds in London. For the second time, a Prime Minister has returned from Germany, bringing peace with honour. I believe it is peace for our time. No war this year, then. Hungary renounces the Treaty of Trianon. In a public declaration, Miklos Horthy has renounced the treaty imposed by the Allied powers after the Great War. Signed by the Hungarians under protest in 1920, it greatly reduced the country's size and limited the strength of its military. In his speech, Miklos Horthy already hinted that Hungary may soon look towards reaffirming their claims to the territories taken from them 2 decades ago. Justification for conquering Dalmatia in Italy have finished. Still no guarantees. Let's slow this down to speed 3. Let's just throw in a quick save, just in case. And the last potato. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Pronto, signore.
Does Yugoslavia have a navy? Miniature one. Not really worried about it. Okay. I believe that it is time. Declare war. Take claim states. Go. Okay, we are now at war with Yugoslavia, so we're going to tell Messi to go do his thing, and we're going to tell
Ordini.
Balbo to do his thing. Go. So initial attacks in Rijeka is going well. Ljubljana is not going particularly well. We're actually hitting the north pretty hard, and then we're also punching out towards Split pretty well. They have 6 destroyers and 1 light cruiser. Okay. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my naval bombers, naval strike in the Adriatic,